You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page as well. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, we review match number 10 of IPL 2021 between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Kolkata Knight Riders. It's the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast, and let's get started. Let's have a look at the match summary for match number 10 of IPL 2021 here from Chennai between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Kolkata Knight Riders. RCB batted first and made 4 for 204 from their 20 overs. Glenn Maxwell top scored with 78 off 49 balls. Chakravarti took 2 wickets for the Knight Riders. The Knight Riders in reply finished on 8 for 166 from their 20 overs. Andre Russell top scored with 31 off 20 balls. And Kyle Jamieson took 3 wickets for RCB. RCB won by 38 runs, and AB de Villiers was named man of the match. What were some of the key factors and key moments in this game between RCB and the Kolkata Knight Riders? I thought Glenn Maxwell and AB de Villiers were the key factors in this match, because Glenn Maxwell got 78 off 49 balls, AB de Villiers 76 not out off 34 balls, an absolute masterclass from him. Those two innings from Maxwell and de Villiers pretty much set up this game for RCB. Got them up to that total of 204 from their 20 overs. Pretty much that was a match-winning score on this pitch here in Chennai, which led to RCB winning this game by 38 runs. Let's have a look at both teams' performances from this match. We'll start with RCB and their batsmen. Curley 5, Padikkal 25, Padia 1, Maxwell 78, de Villiers 76 not out, and Jamieson 11 not out. Let's have a look at their bowlers. Jamieson took 3 wickets, 2 wickets each for Patel and Chahal, a wicket for Sundar, no wickets for Maxwell and Siraj. That's how RCB went about things in this match. Good win by RCB, I thought. Dominated with both bat and ball in this match and deserved this victory. Let's talk about their batting. I thought their batting today was good. Set up by Glenn Maxwell and AB de Villiers to get them up to that big total of 204, which was a match-winning score on this surface in Chennai. Glenn Maxwell, good to see him in the runs. 78 he made, obviously continuing on that great form. So great signs for RCB going forward. And what about AB de Villiers? Unbelievable innings, 76 not out. He's still got it, even though he's retired from international cricket. This guy, he's still got it. He can go back and play for South Africa if he wanted to. South Africa could dearly use AB de Villiers right now in their T20 side for this year's T20 World Cup. And he's still got it, de Villiers. Unbelievable. That's why they call him Mr. 360. And I know why, because he plays shots all around the ground. And that's what he did in this innings. Superb masterclass. Also, they did well in backing up partnerships with the batting. 86 for the 3rd wicket between Maxwell and Padikkal. 53 for the 4th wicket between de Villiers and Maxwell. 56 unbeaten for the 5th wicket with de Villiers and Jamieson. So they did well in backing up the partnerships there. So 350-run partnerships there back-to-back, which helped them get to this total of 204 on this Chennai surface. To me, RCB looked like the only team on this Chennai surface that looked comfortable. Sure, the pitch was still a little bit hard to score at times, but I thought RCB looked comfortable on this pitch. I don't know if it's because it was a day game in Chennai. It was a doubleheader in the IPL, obviously, and this game was a day game. Compared to the other games played at Chennai, they were all at night. This one was in the day. So I don't know if that has a bit of a difference in terms of how the pitch plays compared to a night game, but to me, they looked easy on this pitch. They batted easy on this pitch, I should say. They looked comfortable on this Chennai surface compared to other teams who have batted before on this surface and have really struggled. And we've seen teams had batting collapses on this Chennai surface because they can't get in and get set. But I thought RCB today looked comfortable. I don't know if it's because it was a day game compared to a night game. But overall, their batting was good. I thought their batting was good. So that's great signs going forward for RCB that Maxwell and de Villiers are firing. The only concern is Curley's not scoring runs in these first 3 games. So if Virat Kohli gets back into the runs, which I think he will very shortly, you have him firing along with Maxwell and de Villiers. Watch out, because this RCB batting lineup have got some class players in Curly and Maxwell and de Villiers. If those three players fire for RCB, they could be posting a lot of 200-plus totals in the games to come in this IPL season. So all of the teams will have to watch out for that. But overall, as I said before, great batting performance today from RCB. Let's talk about their bowling quickly. I thought they bowled pretty well. At one stage, they had Kolkata 4 down for 74 inside 8.3 overs. And really, when you get a side 4 down early in a run chase, especially in T20 cricket, chasing a total of 200 plus, you're pretty much going to win the game. And that's pretty much where they won the game. They took wickets regularly throughout the Kolkata Knight Riders batting innings, which slowed their momentum down, put Kolkata under pressure, obviously. Wickets were falling, dot balls were building, the run rate keeps going up, and when you're chasing 200 plus, it's just a task too much. And it was for the Knight Riders. So very good bowling there from RCB. I thought their death bowling was pretty good. I saw Mohammad Siraj bowl a few Yorkers at the end, and that's brilliant to see that the bowlers are practicing those skills as well. Very important to bowl the Yorker. It's the most underutilised delivery in cricket. Got to bowl those Yorkers at the death. Batsmen can't get underneath them and play big shots. So great to see that from Siraj, and great to see the other bowlers follow suit as well. And that's great signs going forward for RCB for the rest of this IPL. In terms of their death bowling, a bit of a question mark with their death bowling this season, but they've really improved their death bowling. And that's great signs for RCB going forward. I thought every bowler within the bowling attack pretty much executed their role. They had some clear plans, they executed their plans, and they executed their skills as well with the ball. So great signs there. So overall, their bowling was good, and overall, it was a great win by RCB. They've started well in this IPL season to be 3-0. It's a great start for them. Hopefully, this will motivate them to qualify for the playoffs and win their first IPL title. Let's have a look at the Kolkata Knight Riders team performance in this match. We'll start with their batsmen. Arana 18, Gill 21, Tripathi 25, Morgan 29, Kartik 2, Alassane 26, and Russell 31. Let's have a look at their bowlers. 2 wickets for Chakravarti, a wicket each for Cummins and Krishna. No wickets for Alassane, Russell, and Harbhajan Singh. It was a poor performance from the Kolkata Knight Riders again, with both bat and ball in this match. We'll start with their bowling. Their bowling was poor. I just thought today with the bowling, they started well with the ball. They took 2 early wickets. But then after that, they leaked too many runs. They were poor with their lines and lengths. They were inconsistent with their lines and lengths. They mis-executed their plans with the ball. They didn't execute their plans with the ball. They leaked runs with the ball as well. They couldn't build pressure with dot balls and take wickets at regular intervals. Their death bowling was poor, extremely poor. And AB de Villiers and Glenn Maxwell, I should say, were able to cash in and score runs off the poor death bowling from the Kolkata Knight Riders. It was absolutely terrible bowling. All over the place, leaking runs left, right and centre. Especially Andre Russell, he got dispatched off AB de Villiers for a lot of runs in that over he bowled to him. I think it was the last over of the innings. Absolutely dispatched. Poor bowling from the Kolkata Knight Riders. Terrible death bowling. And it was just a terrible performance overall from them, really. Nothing you can like about their bowling, really. It was just terrible. To concede over 204 runs is a very poor performance with the ball. So it was a poor performance with the ball from the Knight Riders overall, and they need to get better going forward with their death bowling, but also their bowling in general. Let's talk about their batting. Once again, their batting let them down again. Another batting collapse again from them. Wickets fell at regular intervals throughout the innings, which put Kolkata Knight Riders under pressure, and they couldn't recover from that. When you're losing wickets early in a run chase, it's very hard to come back, especially when you're chasing over 200 to win. You're on the back foot. They lost wickets at regular intervals, 1 for 23, 2 for 57, 3 for 66, 4 for 74, 5 for 114, 6 for 155, 7 for 161, and 8 for 162. So it's just not good enough there from the Knight Riders. They had some late partnerships at the end. They had a partnership of 40 for the 5th wicket between Morgan and Shakib Al Hasan, 41 for the 6th wicket between Shakib Al Hasan and Andre Russell. A little too late for their liking. The game was already gone by then, so it was a little bit too late for the Knight Riders. And they just couldn't get it together with the batting. So it's a poor performance again with the bat from the Knight Riders. Very frustrating for them because they've got some very good batsmen in that side, but they can't get on with the job and score runs. They just keep losing wickets and keep falling and having batting collapses. So they've got to find a way to get through that and try to get better at that, the Knight Riders. They had a bit of a shocker against the Mumbai Indians in their last game, which saw a batting collapse. This game against RCB was just a poor performance again with the bat. So they really need to turn things around going forward for their next match, which is against the Chennai Super Kings on Wednesday, which will be in Mumbai. So they really need to turn things around with the bat. Overall, it was a poor performance from the Knight Riders. Disappointing again. They need to improve on a lot of areas. Their batting and their bowling are a real concern at this stage. It's early days in the IPL. They've still got plenty of time to turn things around. But at the moment, they've got a lot of work to do. And they need to do it quickly, because otherwise, if they don't, they may not qualify for the playoffs. Let's have a look at both teams' potential 11s heading into their next match. We'll start with RCB. Their next match is against the Rajasthan Royals. I don't think RCB need to make any changes for their next game, to be quite honest. No need to make any changes. The team is playing well, playing consistently, which is good for RCB. So if they want to make a change, that's up to them, but I don't think they need to make any changes. It's about trying to keep that cohesion and consistency within the team. So their potential 11 could be Kohli, Padikkal, Padia, Maxwell, de Villiers, Jamieson, Sundar, Ahmed, Patel, Siraj and Chahal. Let's have a look at the Kolkata Knight Riders' potential 11 for their next match, which is against the Chennai Super Kings. I think the Kolkata Knight Riders may make a change to their 11. Shubman Gill's been struggling in these first few games for the Knight Riders. I think maybe a change at the top of the order is required for the Knight Riders. I think Shubman Gill should be left out for the next game, and probably the Knight Riders should bring in Tim Seifert. Obviously, he's opened the batting for New Zealand in T20 cricket, Seifert, so probably have him open the batting with Rana for the next game, change it up a bit and see what happens there with Seifert. Because often if you bring someone else in, a change of personnel often brings about a change of result as well. So obviously Gill to miss out, probably Tim Seifert to come in to replace him. So the potential 11 could be Rana, Seifert, Tripathi, Morgan, Karthik, Al Hasan, Russell, Cummins, Harbhajan Singh, Chakravarti and Krishna. What can we expect from both teams headed into their next match? We'll start with RCB. Their next match is against the Rajasthan Royals on Thursday at Mumbai. Now, for RCB, they can't get complacent. They've got to keep looking to improve from game to game and looking to get better each game. Not thinking too far ahead. A 3-0 start is good, but things can change very quickly in the IPL. So for them, it's just about backing up performances and trying to be consistent for RCB. Let's have a look at the Kolkata Knight Riders. Their next game is against the Chennai Super Kings on Wednesday at Mumbai. For the Knight Riders, it's all about trying to learn from this game against RCB and move on and focus on their next game against the Chennai Super Kings. It's early days in this IPL and they can bounce back and start to turn things around, but they need to do it quickly, because otherwise, if they don't turn things around quickly, they may not qualify for the playoffs. So for the Kolkata Knight Riders, for them, it's just about trying to bounce back, trying to learn from this game against RCB and put it into practice against the Chennai Super Kings for their next match and hopefully improve as this IPL season goes on. Because if they don't, as I said before, they may not feature in the playoffs. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast, and like and share our Facebook page. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.